Welcome, welcome. John here, software engineer with 10 years of experience, and I'm the lead maintainer of Latterly.io. Latterly is an educational platform where you can land your first or next programming role. So it has elements of education and social networking. You can join the Discord for free. You can sign up for free. It's open source. You can get access to this standard checklist. And starting at $1 a month, you can unlock additional features like an advanced checklist and small groups, in-person instructor-led small groups at a higher price point. Today, I want to upgrade Stripe. So these join now buttons, this is prod, and this will take you over to Stripe. This is the Stripe pre-built checkout experience using payment links. This is like really highly optimized. Stripe has research on the efficacy of their pre-built checkout experience. It's like really cool. And the issue is that if you pay here, it doesn't bind back to your user. So like I can log out and I can still click this button. Like no one's logged in. Who's buying what? So the way that I have to solve this as an admin is every night I have to go check if anyone bought anything on Stripe, and I have to manually correlate the account, which is not good for me as an admin, and it's not a good user experience either, because very often I'll get an email like, hey, I just paid, my permissions are not done, what's going on? And I'll say, oh, you have to wait like till the next day, basically. So it's not a good user experience. It's not a good administrator experience. But there's a straightforward solution, and that is to pass query parameters here. And they will be propagated back to Latterly. So we can do a redirect with query parameters. And then I can have an automated check which updates your subscription when you land on like a confirmation page. I could do it on any page. Like I could have you land back on the home page, but then I would be adding logic to the home page. I don't know if I want to do that. I'm kind of a fan of the idea of using a confirmation, like a post checkout confirmation page. You could go either way, but I'm wanting to go that way. Best Shiva, thanks for the likes. So yeah, I whipped up a little diagram for you. Here we're on Latterly issue 63. It'll also impact 72, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Stripe Elements, pay what you can subscription. We will be using a recurring product payment, which is different than a subscription. And we will not be using elements. So part of this ticket 72 was to decide whether to use Stripe Elements. And basically, based on my research, the answer is no, the pre-built checkout experience has higher performance. So we can still close out this ticket. The requirement is not to necessarily implement elements, it's to like look into it. If I were in your shoes and if I hadn't done any of the research, where would I go to find out? Maybe YouTube. Stripe developers YouTube channel is great. So we can go over here and we can say Stripe checkout links, maybe redirect. Yeah, there you go. Passing data with payment links. This video is going to help you a ton. Great. So I think that's the background. Go quickly over the diagram and we'll dive into some code. So here's the diagram, issue 63. This is built with draw.io. So basically on the home page, what we want to do now is make sure that you're logged in before I let you click the join button, or before I take you to Stripe. So you can click the join button. Maybe it says join now, but it's actually going to take you to the create account experience. It's going to take you to this sign up page. So here in the diagram, you can say home page join button. If you're not logged in, it takes you to the sign up page. Now over here on the sign up page, maybe you already are signed up and you're just not logged in. So I want to enhance this page to have like a, are you already logged in link. That's another element of scope I'd like to implement here. And then, yeah, either you create a new account or you sign in because you already have an account and you're just not logged in. So you do one of those, and then I want it to then forward you immediately to the checkout UI. I don't want it to take you back home and then you have to click again. I want to save you a step as a user, right? So that will require some sort of state or query parameter usage on the not logged in. One way or another, you end up at that checkout UI, and now we're going to add some data that's propagated back to laterally, and we'll make that new confirmation page. On the confirmation page, if it's unable to confirm within like 10 or 20 seconds, then I'll give you a message that says like contact an admin. There's some problem verifying like the confirmation. We're also going to need to like handle some edge cases. What if someone just manually visits the confirmation page and there is no query parameters? I think maybe we just do a redirect on that. But if it succeeds, you're going to have access to different features depending on what you bought. So you might have bought, let's go back to the homepage. You might have bought this pay what you can tier, which would give you access to like premium blog articles. You can unlock premium blog articles or the advanced checklist. Oh, it shows up right here, but I'm not logged in, so that's why you can't see it. But those are pretty much the big things that it unlocks. I guess we can call out the expert session discount, but the premium one is a lot better, so it's not really that impressive. Ad-free experience, it says that, but ads are not implemented, so like doesn't matter right now. And between you and me, I'm not sure I ever want to set up ads on this website. I would rather it monetize without ads because I don't like ads on my website. But maybe we'll have to. We'll see. Thank you so much for the likes. Over 800 on TikTok. That's awesome. If you're on TikTok, by the way, if you want to see the full screen, you can go over to YouTube or Twitch. The link is in my bio. Okay. So we'll show you the top 3 recommended features depending on the level that you just purchased. So like if you unlocked premium articles, you'll get a quick link to the blog, that kind of thing. Also on the blog right now, there's no indication of which one is like paywalled, but I feel like that's a different ticket. Maybe like a lock icon or something. Feel free to create an issue or submit a pull request or drop a comment if you have a suggestion. So with all that, let's dive into some code. So here we are in VS Code. I've started tinkering. This is the pricing grid. The pricing grid is this homepage component which holds these 3 cards. So the 3 cards is a grid. That's the idea. Okay. So that's the pricing grid component. Here we are. And what I've built is a logged out plan button. So the way this works prior to the changes is that there is a plan configuration. There's an array of 3. Plans.map, and if you go to where plans is defined, there's a list of these 3 plan entities. And each of these will have their own optional link. And the change is, instead of just having a link, now it's going to be a logged in link. So it's only going to work according to the plan, the payment plan, the subscription plan. That link will only be available if you're logged in. If you're not logged in, you're going to get this new logged out plan button. And the logged out plan button is basically like, hey, sign up. We talked about that, right? So it's just going to send you to sign up. Okay, here we are on localhost. Let's see if this is working. I actually don't know if this is going to render properly at the moment. Yeah, so there's some kind of error over here. Oh, something went wrong. This is pretty ugly. We can fix that too. Command Shift F, Command V, enter backspace on the white space. Here's the new error page. So this is like out of scope, but we might do it if we want to. Let's go ahead and do it. The reason I haven't fixed this yet is because I wasn't able to view this view. Ari Coleman, great job streaming on YouTube. TikTok a little less desirable. Appreciate the feedback, Ari. I agree. I would be extremely happy if TikTok would allow me to stream from my desktop to TikTok. I'm on a Mac computer, and last time I checked a month ago, I think this is still the case. Let me know if it's changed. The TikTok stream software only works on Windows. And there are like weird things you can do, like have a dual boot or like have a hop server in the middle that's like a Microsoft Exchange server. Like, I don't want to do any of that stuff. But yeah, I'll be getting a new Windows computer with some GPUs. We cook up some ML stuff. Yeah, maybe stream some games. I'll be doing that in the next few months. But that's not for today. So here's the new app router error view. Blitz recently upgraded from Nux 13 to 14. So some of my logic is in the legacy implementation. The pre-app router view. And so let me move that over here now that I can see this error view. I didn't have like a use case basically. So here is the user exception wrapper, back to home, laterally page wrapper. This is basically the intended error experience, the user exception wrapper. Root error fallback. You can even see here I have a to-do merged with this error TSX. Here says function my app. I think export my app, yeah. This is the mechanism by which the error page is provided. It's called my app. I guess technically it's an app instance, but really it's just like a page. So how do we migrate this over? I mean, the easy thing to do is just be copy it and paste it over here. I don't know if that's going to work. So export default function error. Is this the name of a page? So can I say error page? I feel like it's pretty much a page. It's not following the boilerplate of a page, but I would like it to. So let's alter this. And this says error here. This is going to be whose interface for error, Next or Blitz or someone else? ES 2022. So that's a spec error. Yeah, cool. That same type is allocated here. Error, reset, error, reset, error, error. Where's the reset? Do we have a reset over here? Reset. I don't see any reset. Do we use reset? On click, attempt to recover. Try again. I don't know what that button did. It tried to recover something. Okay, so I'll maintain this reset concept. I'll maintain this reset concept and otherwise migrate some stuff over. So let me copy this user exception wrapper, copy it over. Root error fallback is, oh, this is going to hook up my Google Analytics. That is pretty important, I think. What does the with blitz do? It's going to control authentication. That seems necessary. I think it's necessary. So I'm going to bring the whole bit, bring the whole shebang. So we're basically going to replace the built-in error handler here, but I need to allow for this reset to come through now. So let me comment this, export default function error. Any update about those 400K jobs, sir? Is that a joke? Are you talking about HRT? Yeah, I bombed the HRT interview. They were using code signal, and I had like an issue with the platform basically, which is really unfortunate because they give you like preparation and practice exercises, and I did all of them. And the issue that I ran into was not covered in any of those preparatory exercises. But I think like you basically can't use, like, I had a variable that I was losing a reference to on re-render in the code signal harness. So anyway, kind of feels like they have some room to improve there. Other than that, I mean, there's other, talking to Google and whatever, but I don't really know if they're in the mood to go for 400 in this economy. So we'll see. My app, get layout, get layout. This is looking good. This is looking good, but we're omitting the reset abstraction. Okay. Export default function. My app. The root error fallback is here. That's plugged into the error boundary. This is the next error boundary. Good. So this is the error boundary that should receive, if I'm not mistaken, error fallback prompts. It should receive, if I'm not mistaken, reset. So it's called reset error boundary over here. But it was just called reset in the other place, wasn't it? Crazy. All right, well, I'll call it reset and maybe it'll make me rename the thing. Let's see. Reset doesn't exist. Yeah. So what kind of prompts are you over here? I'm trying to figure out if someone imports this error or if it is a magic Next.js abstraction. Oh no, look at this metadata. This is bad. So we're getting off track, but also this is bad, yeah. I'll come back and check on this in a minute. So let me try to just name it something else. Let me see if I can just call it reset error boundary. I guess that seems fair enough. So here, the root error fallback. If it's an authorization error, we show this one. Hey, you're not logged in. Otherwise, we show this error component. Yeah, okay. I think this error component is just like, it makes the call stack pretty. It's like a dev tool, basically. So let's see. So I changed it, right? So it looks a little different here. With blitz is not a function. All right. We have a missing thing. With blitz is a function here. So is the complaint on the other file? Source app blitz client. Is the import wrong? Oh, it's coming from blitz next. Blitz.js next. Maybe that's the wrong import. Over here, it's imported from source app blitz client. And that's right here, plain as day. Source app blitz client. Yeah, this looks right. And so I guess this is wrong. Cool. From blitz client. Did that fix it? Cool. All right, so this looks like an error. Well, it is an error, but that is the dev tool that I was referring to. This is like a pretty UI for error rendering. So the error handler component is rendering properly, and we can see it's connected to next 14. So the error handler object is connected properly. And now we're reading about a prior error, which we haven't even tried to address. I just noticed an issue and I was going to leverage it for convenience, but I think it's just a matter of type error. It's just a matter of the fact that this pricing grid isn't complete yet. So you see I have some red lines here. That link, this needs to be fixed. With respect to this error component though, I think it's in a good shape. So I think I can get rid of this thing now. the reset error boundary is not being used, but like, do I want it to be used? I think I might have trimmed it before because I don't have a use for it. Like, if there's an error on the page, I could send it to the error component maybe, if it has an option. Render. I'll give it a try. I think this is not going to work, but I'll give it a try. So reset error boundary. And let's say that we pass it to render. I'm not getting any benefit out of this. Okay, so we'll get rid of that. I didn't think it was going to work. So we just don't use this utility that Next is providing us. We're just not going to let the user re-render the page. Like, you can look at the error, you can go back to the home page. Error boundary, get layout, component layout. Cool, I think this is pretty good. And there could be potential future improvements as well. This get layout, we could point it at some special custom layout, but as far as the built-ins go, I think it's working as intended. So I'll stage this. This is feet, connect. It's really like a migration feature. Migrate, Air UI. You promised you will review one of my project. I've been working for 3 weeks. Where's it at? Send me the link. Are you on the Discord, by the way? You can always just send it to me on Discord. Okay. Got a draft PR. Are they used server by default? I feel like the answer is yes. By default, components inside app are React server components. Yeah. So you specify use client if you need client-side logic, but if you don't need client-side logic, you don't need to specify use server. It will be so by default. Okay, this doesn't need 2 links. It just needs 1 link. Logged in link. Now, if the user is logged in, they will see that logged in link if there's button text in the logged in link. And if they're not logged in, they get this logged out plan button. And that's what I expect. Let's take a look. Cool. So now the error view that we were seeing is gone because there's no more error because we fixed the thing. And this should take, am I logged in right now? Let me log out. So now that I'm logged out, notice the free button is here. Why would you join now if it's free? Because it just takes you to sign up. Just takes you to sign up. I don't want you to open a new tab though. In the Stripe case, I do want Stripe to open in a new tab because it's a different domain and I don't want people leaving my domain. But in the sign up case, you're not leaving my domain. And the user experiences we designed will take you over to sign up and then it'll take you over to the proper checkout location. So the experience is designed to work with your current tab, not open a new tab. So we'll just drop the target blank, fixes that. Cool. It's a lot faster now. You see that? Now that we're using the same tab, it's like super fast. That's great. Way better user experience. Stromaker, hello Latterly. How do I learn coding? I don't know anything. I want to change my life. Any tips? I'm so glad you asked. That's what we do here. So you go to latterly.io, you sign up for free, and you follow this checklist. Oops, you need to be logged in. Okay, let's log in. Look at that secure login with the convenient feature. I can use my finger and the password is masked by default. Man, whoever put this thing together knew what they were doing. Yeah, it's a step-by-step checklist. The first thing you want to do is join a social community. Joining a social community will enable you to learn better. It will increase your plan adhesion, your motivation. It's fun. We got memes. And you can bring your memes. I mean, we have memes that we will give to you, but you can also bring memes to us. And isn't that how community is formed? You know? So I hope to see you there soon. By the way, if anyone has a question on any platform that I don't get to during the stream, just come over to the Discord. Like that's what it's there for. And you can ask 24/7. Speaking of 24/7 support, Stromaker, check out this AI tool. If you can't get a hold of anyone, at least you can ask a custom GPT that has been trained on Latterly source data. Cool. I really hope that helps. And I'm very confident it will. I mean, there's a lot of research that says that this checklist is super neato. I'm thirsty. So now I want to commit this because we love small commits. We love small commits. So let me say feature, and the name of this feature is the new component name. The new component name is logged out plan button. Feature logged out plan button. Right click, close others so I can focus on this component, just kind of focus down a little bit. Now I want to view the error UI again and look at the metadata. You see this layout? You see how it says new Blitz app? I don't like it. This other one is better. And I don't like that it says template Blitz either, but I'm curious about what that means. I wonder if the %S is going to use the page name. Is it going to use the page name? So let's see. So here I am on the home page. I'm hovering my mouse and I just get this, like whatever this is. That's weird. Where can I go? Maybe the community page. How about the events calendar? Okay. It says laterally.io pipe events calendar, but I think this is still under pages. So I think the app router is run over. Command P, V, enter. Here we are under source pages. So it's not in the app router. Shouldn't this page be over here for migrating to the app router? Let me look at my other project. I have another project that's like natively app router. That is my ESLint, proof of concept, app, then it just says page. Yeah. So it would go in the app router and it would just be a page.tsx under the events calendar folder. Let's go ahead and do that. I don't want to do all of these. That's not like the point of the stream, but if I can put a line in the sand, like just do one of them. So we'll make this a page.tsx. Let me see it break. Love it. And this looks good. The page could not be found. That is an error that I want to see. Like this style of it is the error that I want to see. Ari Coleman, at some point, could you do a video exploring the code base for this app? Would be interesting to see your architecture choices. Yeah, I mean, I can, but it's really simple. I just use Blitz.js. That's it. So the point of Blitz.js is that it is highly opinionated, so I don't have to make architecture choices. I will say that I chose to use Tailwind. Did I really choose anything else? I guess I chose to use Postgres. It's pretty strongly encouraged by Prisma already. So yeah, I guess maybe there's some stuff that I could talk about. ShadCN. Maybe there's some stuff that I could talk about, but it's pretty much this. Okay, so here we are, events calendar, moving this out of pages. We're going to the app router. Boop. Cool. And now I should see it restored. Create context only works in client components. That makes sense. Can I move that context to the server? This is talking about the menu. So the menu is like when you're logged in. When you're logged in, the drop-down menu says different things. Yeah, there's a way to move this to the server, but I don't want to do that right now. So I'll put a use client on it. Okay. All right, so we moved over, but now that we moved over yeah, look. My SEO on the page is messed up under this router. Bummerville. And so in the prior implementation, this page wrapper would do the thing. And how? How did it do the thing? Is it through this layout? Source core layouts, yeah. You see the canonical build here? So this would work in the pages router, and it doesn't work in the app router. Because the app router has different SEO metadata pattern. So let's bring that open. Let's bring that over. So here's the app router base page. I like to have a line break after the use client. It's not required, but I just like to mix it up, you know? This base page, I'm expecting a base SEO export. I guess it just comes out of layout. I'm not a fan of doing that. I know why they did that. They did that because like every page is going to bring in export. So this is like the more effective default setting for like default meta for like all pages. But I don't want this to show up anywhere. I would almost rather error. I'd almost rather scream it. Let me look for description here. Yeah, you see it says generated by Blitz New. I do not want you to say that. What do I want you to say? I want you to say, let's see if I can do the %s thing in there. Banana. And it just says %s. What in the other case? Blitz was in here somewhere. Generated by Blitz New. That's hot. That's hot reloading stuff. Let me refresh the page. It shows up nowhere now. So this template %blitz is not being used to interpolate a value. That's not what it's used for. If I don't know what it's for, I'm going to delete it. Bye. I don't think I have a need for it. So we have laterally.io and then description. This would be like the fallback, like the base description. What are we working with, Google? I forgot what it is. It's a coding bootcamp alternative and career accelerator. Land your next programming role in as little as 3 months. That's pretty good, man. And it's not this Leaf thing. That's Canadian. There's a company in Canada called Laterally. And I wish them the best. I think this description is fine. Is it too small? Yeah, the other one was more thorough. Okay, so let's do this. Laterally is a coding bootcamp alternative. Love it. And career accelerator. We can drop the by John Vanderveer part. I mean, it's true, it's by me, but I would like to get, it's not even, I mean, there's other contributors as well. I'm like the lead maintainer, so that's cool. But like, do I need to mention that? Laterally is a coding bootcamp alternative and career accelerator. Land your next programming role in as little as 3 months. That is an outlier case, but yeah, it's happened. That's not a typical case. That's like a P95 or something. Actually, we just had a guy. in the small group that just got a job last week. And I think he was only in the small group for less than 3 months. But he had already done like a bunch of stuff on his own, right? But that's the whole idea here, is that you can land a role in as little as 3 months. The case where that's true is pretty much you already know how to code and you just need job search help. Then it's reasonable. Okay, it looks good on the SEO though, doesn't it? So let's see. Are the spaces in there? No, they're not. Add a space there and there. Okay, it's working. There's the meta description. You can see it's showing up right there. And where's the meta title? Title. Title is like not getting through somehow. Maybe this is just not a correct syntax. There we go. Okay, so that is working as the fall through. So we have the base page SEO meta. It's working as a fall through, but it does not look good on the calendar page, right? Because the calendar page, I want to actually say like, hey, I'm the calendar page and not fall through. I'm right clicking, I'm closing others. Staging the deleted legacy pages events calendar. I'm going to control minus and again to get back here to this export const meta. I'm going to copy this and paste it over here. My understanding is just you export a meta const from every page now. I think that's the new pattern. And so you could make some generic function, and maybe that's a good idea. You could dry something up because I like to do this pattern. So this will be, yeah. You see the pipe events calendar. In the other case, it would have been like a little more generic because it'll take this title and it would have been like get title, like that. So that's a little more generic. I don't have to put the boilerplate of the laterally pipe, but that's like a really small savings. Laterally pipe, whatever. So I have no real concern duplicating it. I would be curious if I can dive into this laterally page wrapper and export metadata from there. And the answer is no. The answer is no, because this, is it no? I don't know. Let's try it. Okay, before I say the answer is no, let's try it. So I'm gonna come over here. The question is, how do I get the title reference out here? Because the new metadata is a static concept. It's a server-side concept. So how do I get that title reference out there? Like you can't. Unless you want to do some weird by reference object pointing stuff. Like I don't want to do that. Maybe I can like export it here. That doesn't work. I don't believe in that. So I think we just repeat ourselves a little bit and we just have this like, we just split out the metadata from the page wrapper. That's fine. It is weird that it's split out though, right? Because at the end of the day, it's painting content onto the DOM. So why can I not do it from internal? Whoa, asked 5 years ago. See, it holds it statically. If you need a dynamic title, you can use the generate metadata function to achieve that. It's just returning an object, whatever. Okay, so they're returning the title literally this way. I thought I had heard something about this being an option. Let's give it a try. If it works, it works, right? I'm going to go with that. Let's give it a try. If it works, it works. So here, I'm going to remove this or comment it for now. We'll remove it later. We'll remove it later if we can. And where's the head tag? I don't have a head tag here. Good. I don't want one. Title is going into this layout. This is like the old layout. Here's the head tag. I don't like this. We don't want this head tag anymore. So we just delete it. You gonna let me live? Does the title come through is the piece that I care about. I want the favicon to come through as well, but I really, really care about that title. And then there, so, and it should be prepended with the laterally.io in the pipe. Canonical ref, that'll be nice. Where's the description? Description. Your tech adventure awaits. Laterally helps you. Okay. Sure. Whatever. I think GPT might have come up with this. Under my supervision, not like it did it by itself or anything. The OG URL. Love that. Okay. Are you going to work with me? Let's see. We don't have this. Look at that. I got it. So you can return the title here. That's cool. And I could pass a custom description if I want to. Although none of the pages are doing that today, but they could. They probably should. Should is a weird word, but it would be better for SEO keyword detection if they did. Okay. Happy with the title. What else do we want to look at? Description. Let's check it. Your tech adventure awaits. Yeah, it's that one. That's cool. Fine. Canonical. We got it. Ooh, laterally.io undefined. Good thing I checked it. Canonical. Router as path. We don't have that anymore. We don't have that anymore. What do we have now? That's the compat router. Are we pretending I'm on the server right now? I could just pass a slug right here. We're on the client. Why are we on the client? We're on the client because the laterally page wrapper, like every page needs use client. This is not good with my website. That's fine. It's a later thing to do. But every page needs use client because my top nav is on every page and it uses context. I need to refactor that. I'm not doing that today. But there's no need for it in the long run. It's just like a short-term thing. In the long run, the server knows if you're logged in. Okay, let's get rid of that. So what have I convinced myself about? I think a slug is a fine short-term workaround. Okay. So we come over here, got my layout props. Going to do an optional slug string. Going to make you alphabetical. Thank you for the likes. Yeah, if you're enjoying the video, consider following the page, liking it, and that will help the algorithm send it around to other potentially interested learners. We love to see that, don't we? On these slugs, I'll be duplicating the slash, so I might as well put the slash here, except I don't know if that is compatible with the as path. That's the reason I wouldn't do that. And so here, I'll use the slug. So we use the path if we have it, and if we don't, we will use the slug if we have it. It might just be an empty string by default. Cool. So let's check the canonical now, and it's laterally.io. No, I should have my slash. Abbas, what are we doing here? We are migrating the events calendar page to the app router. That's not the longer term interest of today's stream. We want to get to Stripe, but I wanted to get one of these pages done to help make the rest of the pages easier when I get around to it. So here's the slug. Here's this. That's the reason the slug wasn't passed through here. Slug. There it is. And the favicon works. So I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it. I'll do a quick regression test on other pages as well. So here's the blog. Blog is looking good. Homepage. Using TypeScript. Yep. Homepage is looking good. Watch the flash of unstyled content. You see that loading? I hate that thing. But we'll make a different GitHub issue to deal with that later. There are follow on Blitz 2. So there's like follow on migration issues. Yeah, there's some flash of undesirable content. Yep. I think those are the big ones to call out. Cool. Good, these seem good. So the feature here is migrate calendar page. So now we're back on this home page. I have my pricing grid. I know whether I'm logged in or not. My new buttons will show if intended. And now I want to go over to my sign up page. Yep, and this one's under the app router. So I'm going to go here to my sign up page. And modify it so that if you're like already an account holder, you can easily log in from here. I could give you a link to the login page. Do I want to give you a link or do I just want to like give you the login form? Why don't I just give you the login form? What, am I missing something? Like, why don't I just give you the login form? So you create an account. It says create account. This is not the UI. This is not the UI that I want. Okay. This page was impacted, so I'm editing the right page. Why? Okay, because it needs to be right here. Because of the calc 100 VH minus 4 rem. That's the reason. Okay, so now we have both. I don't really want them side by side. I mean, do I? Like, on mobile, they should not be side by side, but on desktop, like side by side could be fine. Create account on the left, log in on the right. That actually makes a lot of sense. It actually makes a lot of sense because we like to have from left to right reading the thing which you want to prioritize on the left, and I think we want to prioritize creating an account. Is it a side project you're doing that for a company? It's open source. There's no company involved officially. It's just like if you go send money here, it just goes to me. and I just pay taxes on it like it's a personal, doing businesses like me. I would love to get it to the point where, so it's a side project. I'd love to get it to the point where it makes sense to form a company, but currently it doesn't. I mean, the monthly revenue on this thing is like $200. So something like that currently. We got plans though, don't we all? So this is kind of cool. What can we do here to make it look a little better? These items need some padding in here. Not padding, margin. They need some margin. Got the tailwind styles going on. Pop an M2 in there. I'm going to need to save it in the code. It's not loading the M2 tailwind onto the page. Is this form used anywhere else? Will I be disturbing another view by the work that I do here? That's another project. That's another project. This is just the login page. Yeah, it'll disturb that page, but it's not a big deal. Okay, so now we got some login over here. I actually don't like that the cards are different height. Ugh. Is that cringe? I could drop the cards altogether and just put like a divider line up. I don't want to be spending time on design right now. Oh, and for consistency. So the login page gives you a link over to sign up if you need to sign up. So for consistency reasons, we can do it that way too. Okay, so for these reasons, I'm going to make you click over to the login page. Sorry. What's your website about? Good question. Latterly.io. I hope you will check it out. It's a social and educational platform to help you land your first or next programming role. So one part social community. There's a Discord, a couple hundred people on there. And there are so many tips: how to build a portfolio, and interview techniques, preparing for leak code for coding rounds, social networking techniques, how to generate a referral. Let me give an example from the blog, just the latest article. Let's look at the latest article, at least 10 networking tips. Please, please, please read that article. It is an insane value density per character. Like, it's not that long. It's not that long. And it is amazing. It's the bee's knees. I never really learned what it means when people say it's the bee's knees, but I just got the gist from my grandparents that it's a good thing. And if I Google that, will it do, it's not like Bird and the Bees, right? It's good stuff. You should check it out. I hope you'll check it out. I hope you will join the Discord, and I see you soon. Okay, so we're over here. We're undoing the margin change. We're here on the sign up page. We're getting rid of the login form here. If I refer to the login page, The login form, not the login page, is the one who says, forgot your password, then you can go sign up. So similarly, I will provide the alternative in the reciprocal case that you are in sign up. So we'll do this div, password, end form div. No, it's after. You don't need to reset your password if you never created an account. I think I might be sleepy, y'all. Or sign up. It bugs me that or has a capital O. That bugs me. So here's the form. Within the form, after the form tag, so the reciprocal would be already signed up, log. Is it log in or sign in here? Log in here. So I should be able to go back and forth, basically. Already signed up, log in here. That's way better. Already signed up, that's way better because it doesn't start with or. The spacing looks slightly different. I shouldn't care. I shouldn't care. Why does it bug me so much? The top margin on the login is too big. It's MT4. No, they're both MT4. Why does it feel different? It feels different because forgot password has more spacing above. Yeah, because password here is compressed and it's not compressed there. Space Y4 on the password div wrapper. It bugs me a lot. Replace or with something like not yet registered, sign up here to be consistent. I 100% agree. I absolutely will. Great call out. I got distracted by the password top margin asymmetry. Let's see if I can quickly resolve that. So over here, we have the login form and we have the sign up form. So with the sign up form, we have a labeled text field. To or adjacent. With the login form, we have a labeled text field, to or adjacent. Why is the top margin different? Thanks for giving some of your time explaining your website. I'll definitely check it out. Sadly, I am just starting web dev, but I have some experience with algorithm and data structures using Java. Awesome. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. Feel free to contribute. Like the community is not like JavaScript only. Feel free to contribute if you want to build out like a checklist of how to be an awesome Java developer. One of the things that's up on the queue soon is the junior to senior checklist. And I think learning a second language is a great way to move up that ladder from junior to senior. Typically, I recommend go TypeScript and then go Python. But as an alternate, go TypeScript and then go Java. You're welcome to create that path. I think it would be a useful path for a lot of people. And I'm a big fan of Kotlin. So getting some sort of checklist on Latterly that gives you a bridge to Kotlin would be cool. Greg says, is this TypeScript? Yes, it is. I usually do React and Python. Like together in the same project? That's kind of wild. I do them, but I don't mix them in the same project. One of the benefits of TypeScript is that you can have an isomorphic implementation. Not isomorphic. What is the term? Your front end and back end use the same language. I hate that I can't remember that word. Yeah, I guess you could just say full stack language consistency, but there's a technical word for it. It's something like isomorphic, but not. ChatGPT is good for this stuff. What's the word where you use the same programming language on the front end and back end? Is it isomorphic? Why did I doubt myself so hard? Because isomorphic means something totally different. It means equivalent. So like a Python dictionary and a JavaScript object would be isomorphic. Wow, that word, it is the same word that's used to mean both things. I hate that. That's an overloaded term. Okay, great. I really hate that because those are two totally different concepts getting the same fancy schmancy word, which is really confusing. Why do you emphasize networking? Do you mean by it social networking? Yes, social networking. Latterly is not obsessing about like your AWS the network gates. Like that's yeah, like your inbound, outbound gating permissions. That's not no. Or like hardware, like which wires do you connect? That sort of networking. Nope. Social networking, absolutely. And why do I emphasize it? Because it is a massively underrated asset to your job search performance. Been doing a lot of Azure infrastructure. Sorry about that. Let me know if you need a phone number or email for a good therapist. Is that a good joke? I thought it was a good joke. Yeah, very annoying. Okay. I thought it was a good joke, but like it's hard for me to tell. Already signed up, log in here. I'm going to do one last thing to try to fix this spacing on the password, and then I'm going to let it go. Last thing I'm going to do here. We're on the login form, and here I am, and I'm going to add a class labeled a text field, class name, MT4. Cool. It's like getting dropped off somehow. Oh, the form has a space Y4 on it. Oh, we got it. So this entity is like immune. It's like immune to Tailwind. So the form class name. It's using the space Y4, which is a pseudo Tailwind. It's not a real Tailwind. Pseudo meaning fake, not pseudo like you're logging into a bash server. You see this? So now, yes. I can sleep well tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Forgot your password. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. That's on me. Let me go back. Sign up, log in. Sign up, log in. It's gorgeous. All right, now let's fix the grammar. So forgot your password, and the or sign up. We need to change the verbiage. Not great for me as I am 17 and an introvert. It is good for you. It is good for you if you're 17 and an introvert. It is fantastic for you. And if you continue to insist on being antisocial, basically, it's going to be a harder thing to adapt the longer you wait. It's going to be a harder thing to adapt the longer you wait. Introversion is wonderful. Introversion is welcome. It's not a curse. It lends itself to certain abilities, certain positive attributes. You absolutely can and should append social skills to your introverted personality. Like, you can do both. You can have it both. Trust me. Successful programmers often are introverts that have nonetheless mastered collaboration, communication, leadership, influence, persuasion, and other soft skills. You could be the GOAT, dude. You could be the GOAT. Don't say I'm an introvert, therefore, you're going to avoid people. Like, I get it. I think the proper thing to do is take a budgeting approach. Even people who are introverted are imperfectly introverted. So if you take an introversion scale, you may score higher than average, right? Psychologists would say you're introverted. You take the Big Five personality assessment, your extroversion is low, you're introverted. But your extroversion score is not 0. Like, book a call with me. I guess a pure extrovert wouldn't even, a pure introvert wouldn't even book a call with me. So that's why I know that I can win this bet. If you book a call with me, and if you let me look over your shoulder as you take a Big Five personality assessment, and if the result says that you are a perfect introvert with 0 extroversion score, I'll give you $500 on the call right there, because I don't believe it. So you can be an introvert, meaning your extroversion score is low, but it's not perfectly low, which means you have some tolerance for social interaction. It's just less than normal, right? It's just less than normal. And that's not a bad thing. It forces you to be efficient with the time you do allocate. It's a forcing function. It's actually super useful. And so I think the proper thing to do is to take a budgeting approach. So yeah, you don't need to go out with a bunch of parties and like hang out with tons of people. But you do need to talk to humans if you're going to get a job. At some point, you're going to have to talk to some humans. Oogly Boogly says, I'd also consider underlining and or bolding the hyperlinks for page swapping to make it more obvious that part of the text is linked. Yes, you're right. The link style in the app is lame. I'm with you. I'm going to backlog it though. Like this, that's not super high urgency and value to me, but I'll make a ticket here. So I'm going to give this I think this is a great first issue. PR is welcome. For me, that's not going to be urgent for me personally, but I would absolutely welcome pull requests on that. Hey mate, your stream is pretty cool. That's why I followed you. I will like to make you a friend and be a fan. If you don't mind, kindly chat me on Discord. Maybe. Cool. Yeah. We'll see if I can remember it after the stream. A boss says, I do have social persuasion, but getting out to see people is the hardest part. You don't need to physically get out. You don't need to physically get out. Now, I'll tell you, by the way, also, if you're 17, it's not a big deal right now. But like in 5 years, I think you'll really enjoy going to a programming conference. There are a lot of introverted people that go to programming conferences, and so the conference itself is like set up in many cases to support that. Um, it would be a rabbit trail to go through the various processes implemented in something like a PyCon that allow you to have a social experience without, like, despite being introverted. There's a lot of things that they do, like setting up small groups. Small groups is great for this. You can just network with a couple people at a time. It doesn't need to be like a rave, you know. But yeah, social networking you can do through LinkedIn direct messages. You don't need to be in person with somebody. And in fact, that's a lot of, like, if you go to the networking script, like, if I already gave you the article, right? Just go read the article. Go read the article. You go to the blog, at least 10 networking tips. I already gave you the article. Just read it. And you'll see that a bunch of it has to do with like communication over social media, which is what you're doing right now. I know you're not a perfect introvert because you're communicating with me on social media right now. So if you can do that, you can do a lot of these other things here. Ari says, are you able to code this late at night for many hours? Ari, that's a very, if you could, what you're saying is very kind to me because you're making it seem as though I'm doing a good job coding right now. When the truth is that I'm falling asleep and ranting with a little code here and there. When I'm genuinely like locked in and coding, it's much better than this, I assure you. So if your question is, can I maintain focus and a high level of productivity for many hours into the night? The answer is absolutely not. But if you're asking, can I carry on what I'm doing right now, which is repeatedly being distracted from my main task and then just like yapping, I can do that for quite a while. I mean, absolutely. Pre-kids, I'd be up all night on random projects, miss those days. It can change quite a bit. It's another forcing function. Just as introversion forces you to be efficient with your social communication effort, so too kids are a time drain, aren't they? Kids are a time drain. There's so many benefits to kids. I'm not saying that they are mainly or only a time drain. I absolutely think they're emphatically a net benefit, and I would love to have more of them. Take that part up with my wife. Anyway. But one thing that they are, despite all the positives, is that they are a cost to time and effort, cognitive effort, financial costs, like all the costs. And as such, they force you to be more efficient with your time and your resources. Absolutely time drains in every aspect and worth it. Love it. Love it. So yeah, I still do projects even though I have kids, but it is different. The way it's different is that I've been forced to become more efficient. I'm forced to become more efficient. Okay, what are we doing over here? We added space Y4. That was fun. We wanted to stop saying or. Let's not say or. Sign up. Don't have an account? Sign up here. The apostrophe will get you in React every time. Need to create an account? How about that? That's better, isn't it? Need to create an account? Sign up here. I think that works. What do you think? I think that verbiage is fine, eh? Let's get a like on the video if you like that. If you like that exclamation point there. Doesn't it just seem friendly? We're all friendly here. Hey, we have not successfully integrated Stripe, but we have got a solid login page. Can I attend programming conferences online? Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. React Conf. This one is online. There's that conference. I don't know if it's online, but it's a conference that you should check out and see whether it's online. We geek out in Texas and Wisconsin once a year, but we host digital events all the time. Hey, I'll tell you what, if we drop 100 additions to the Discord, we can start having our own conferences. We'll do those 100% remotely. Okay. Let me commit this. So what is the feature name here? This is really, there's a feature element and a style element. So for the purpose of conventional commit, I have this hierarchy where I think that features are better than style. The designers in the chat can drop an L. And so in the case where it's like a feature and a test, I'll mark feature. In the case where it's a feature and a style change, I'll mark feature. Feature and document change. I basically dominate via feature. Gotta run, gonna lurk to boost Twitch viewers. Thanks, Oogly Boogly. See you later. It's such a great Twitch name, Oogly Boogly. Abbas, you're giving some gems. Thanks. I appreciate your appreciation. That is so kind, and it's so helpful to me as a content creator and a streamer. So thank you. You're welcome, and thank you for thanking me. All right, that started to get cringe, didn't it? Whatever. So the feature here is quick link for sign up. And minor style. Quick reminder on TikTok, if you would like to see the full screen, you can go to YouTube or Twitch. Link is in my bio and see the full screen. So we got this little pull request chugging along. Now what would we like to do? Now I need to ensure that I can add the query data for an individual who is not signed up. When they click one of these bad boys or bad girls, it's 2024. They can be either one. I need an origin. I need an origin identifier. It can just be an integer. You gotta love an algorithm that's return integer. It's so easy. So I can return 30, I can return 0, and it handles the special cases internally super easily. And then pay what you can. This would be tricky because there's going to be a dropdown where they could pick one of 29 different values. It's going to go 1 to 29 because the user can pick whatever they want. But it's super easy if it's just the origin identifier is the integer. It's just the integer. It's just the amount that they are paying. By the way, on the nomenclature of pay what you can versus pay what you want versus something else, I have a poll running on YouTube. Let me show you. Here on the community tab. Okay, it looks like people are supporting. There's only one vote though. So is it demeaning to say pay what you can? Does that make you feel poor? Or is it like accommodating, which is what it's meant to be? It's like, hey, we're going to help you by letting you pay what you can. I thought about changing it to pay what you want, which maybe feels a little more empowering. But then it's like, do they feel like, well, I just want to pay $1. Like I want to pay as little as possible, where can makes it feel like Well, can't you pay more? Can't you pay 5? So like the incentive is to spend more? Or get away from both of those and do something like flex or supporter. Because why would I pay more than the bare minimum? Well, because you're supporting people. So you're a supporter. Would love to get your input on that poll. How often do you stream, by the way? Like 5 days a week, like 5 or 6 days a week. So my stream schedule, I guess my background is blurred. It's on my wall right there. It is Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern is a lunch stream. And then I have a dessert stream, an evening stream, which is Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday at officially 8 to 9. Officially 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern. But then it's like unofficially, I'll just go whenever. I'll just stream whenever. Okay, so let's get this origin identifier. What you can sounds better. Thank you. Thanks for the input. Okay, so it looks like we'll leave it at that. That's what the, what you want. Okay. All right, then it's a 50-50 tie, so we need some more votes. We need to get a tiebreaker up in here. How do I have this origin identifier? Let me go back to the homepage. And we'll wrap on this. We don't need to get the whole thing end to end done today. I think if we make good progress, that's good enough. So I'm right clicking, I'm closing to the right. I meant to close others, but whatever. So here, benefit list item. They're going to click the logged out plan button. And what I need it to have is the ability to understand the click location and the click state. So we can call that a plan ID. It's called a plan ID. It's just going to be the amount for now. Do I want to set a default? Not really. Not really. So I'll make it a required string with no default. Oh, I think I know why my IntelliSense was busted here. I was trying to figure that out earlier. No, I don't. I don't know anything. There's the IntelliSense. I was going to propose that maybe I need to take out the expression, and it does work here. Okay. I don't know what was going on earlier. I couldn't get the IntelliSense earlier. It's fine now. Can I roll on path name? Path name won't let me have it. Can I do this? It's not really good for me as an expert and thought leader when I'm asking questions like, can I do this? Can I do that? Y'all are like, does he know anything? Okay, sign up plan ID. Good. And now, logged out plan button. I guess for MVP, I can just do 0 every time, right? Oh, it's a string. I do want it to be an integer, and then I'll stringify it at query time. But I don't want it to just be any string. I guess we say number in TypeScript world. Okay, so it's a number. Here's the plan ID. It's not assignable. What do you mean? What do you mean it's not assignable? type is not coming through. Because this argument does not exist on the react.fc. Yeah, that's the reason. Cool. That works. Ari says, took your advice to search for boot camps on Course Report, and I found Lewagen. I think I'm going to go to Mexico to do the full-time in-person. Awesome. Lewagen is like one of the best in the world. As far as I know, they don't have a US program. Let me know if I'm wrong on that. Also don't know if, also don't know how good their remote programs are. Do you speak Spanish? Yeah, I mean, going to like Mexico City, especially if you're like a native level speaker of Spanish, going to Mexico City, oh, a US program in Mexico. Interesting, interesting. You might have to educate me on that. I didn't know that was a thing. There's a lot of like, and Mexico City is quite urban. There's a lot of like full English programs and whatnot. Yeah, I speak Spanish. Okay. Oh, I imagined a comma. That was the issue. When you said no US program, I thought you were saying no, it's a US program, but you're confirming that there is no US program and that you do speak Spanish. That sounds like an excellent option to me. I don't think they have a job placement guarantee, but they almost don't need it because the outcomes are like so good. The outcomes are like so good that they don't need a real guarantee. It's in the nice part of Polanco. Dude, bring me some food, dude. Send me some food. I might have to come visit you. Okay, what are we doing? What I want to do is to click on this and see the query parameter got passed. So now I have a 0, good. But I'll have a 0 every time. That's not what I want. So what I want to have is the plan to emit a more precise value. This will need to use state here, actually. This will need to use state. Whenever there's a drop down, it will need to use state. For now, it doesn't need to. For now, it doesn't need to. So for now, we will have the plan emit his plan ID. So this will be plan dot ID. Currently not in possession of, that's fine. Let's go add it. Easy peasy. So premium is going to be 30. Probably we should move this into the database, eh? Feel free to submit a pull request. It's like not worth the value to me, but in the future that could be cool. I'm going to mark this as 10 because that is even though it's pay what you can pay as little as $1, as much as 29. 10 is like the suggested default on the Stripe checkout experience. So I think it makes sense as a plan ID because we'll basically send them over to Stripe with that number on there. This plan ID is 0. Cool. So here we are. This is going to give me a 10. Pay what you can, yeah. 30, 0. We're looking good. We're looking good. So now I'm going to create my account. How not to get burnt out from coding. There's I think 3 or 4 key strategies. This is a really good question, and I should sleep on it and give you a more serious answer when I've had better sleep. But I'll give you my initial reaction. The first thing is pace yourself. Just good old fashioned time boxing, pacing yourself, and not overworking. Yes, you might have to go through an activation energy phase where you do extra work because you're trying to land your first job. Landing that first job is super hard. Pay your dues, that whole old school thing, like it's still a real thing. You might have to do that. But once you get over the hurdle of that first or second job, you will then have the ability to select jobs that have a better work-life balance in exchange for modest, like relatively modest compensation. And if you do things like that, it is perfectly possible to work less, like 40 hours or less per week and make 6 figures and not work on the weekends. You can do all of these things. And so what you can do there is I would say, typical strategy of work at work and then don't work when you're off work. I say this is typical. This is not what I do. Like, I'm a weirdo. Like, most programmers are not streaming coding on the weekends, right? A very typical attitude is, if I'm not at work, don't talk to me about programming. And, there's pros and cons to that. And as an intentional strategy, it can be a good thing for some people. Basically, what it does is it will reduce your burnout in exchange for also potentially reducing your compensation. And like, that's a trade that many people are very happy to take. So the one thing that you can do is what I've just said, which is time boxing, budgeting, and being intentional about rest. Okay. Another thing you can do is make sure that the things that you code, you genuinely care about. So this is invoking passion and emotion. Invoking passion and emotion. You can do this on your job. You can find a company that you actually care about their product, you actually care about what they're doing. These things exist. You can find these things. Here, that's what I'm doing. I'm working on an open source project that I genuinely care about. And what you'll find is, for many people, including myself, and this does vary a bit by personality, but for many people, if you can find a cause that you genuinely resonate with, it's almost impossible to get burned out. That sounds crazy, but it's true. Because every little thing you do, just getting that query string to work, most people don't care. They're like, this is so boring. But if I can see the bigger picture and I know that I just took a step to something awesome, I'm like hyped up, and it's just like it's like I took a shot of espresso. It's like I can't go to sleep because now I want to do the next thing and the next thing. And now you do have to worry about this leading into things like workaholism, which is something that myself and others do struggle with. So almost any successful strategy will have a dark side of the moon, unfortunately. So I think the key is to be aware of the strategies and be intentional about which one you pick. And that will not eliminate stress. Heaven knows, I don't think any of us live a stress-free life, but it will, I think, minimize stress relative to alternatives and also minimize surprise. And surprise is its own orthogonal vector of stress. So I do think you get a double benefit out of intentionality. And I think we can see this demonstrated in productivity literature. By example, intentional practice is much more effective than the 10,000 hour rule, Malcolm Gladwell's 10,000 hour rule, how to be good at anything, like be a savant at anything. You just do 10,000 hours. You can get that thing down by like a factor of 10 to 100 if you use intentional practice instead of unintentional practice. I may be getting some of the nuances there misworded, but the gist is right. Okay, so being strategic about your time and intentional about your rest, picking things that you code about that you're genuinely passionate about, Third is social community. Social community. And this may be less effective for you, Ari, as an introvert. Sorry, I didn't mean to say Ari, Abbas. As an introvert, almost all of these will have variation by personality. So introverted people may derive less energy from social community. So this strategy might not work for you, but for a bunch of people it works, which is I'm getting worn down, I'm getting bored, I'm getting burnt out. But you know what? I have a cool team there for me. I have some hype people and they just give me energy because every time I'm down, if I talk to them, I feel refreshed. And I worry about stereotyping yourself as an introvert because I think the truth is that I'm like losing my voice. But I think the truth is that introverts benefit greatly from social relationships as well, and they can derive charge and energy. They may need to be more selective with their relationships. They may need to alter their fashion of communication. But haven't you ever had a chat with a friend and just been refreshed by it, even though you were tired prior? Okay, those are some thoughts. I don't know what the fourth one was. My throat, like dying, distracted me. Sorry. I'm gonna wrap up the stream because like I'm tired and I'm losing my voice. But this has been good progress. Is that why Elon Musk works so much? I think there's something to it. Oh no, that would be strategy 4. Thanks for jogging my memory. The passion thing I do think plays a role for Elon. Here's the other thing: is it's if you make a ton of money, you can go do a ton of recreational activities that like offset the stress, basically. So there is this idea of the cortisol-driven person. When you wake up in the morning, like you're very comfortable, you're very tired. How do you get out of bed? One of the things that happens is cortisol spikes, and it gives you a feeling of energetic discomfort. So there's like hormonal factors here, whatever, but like where does hormone end and personality begin? There's an endogenous relation. But some people who are just addicted to cortisolic achievement, and not only cortisol, there's other things here too. You even get like bursts of adrenaline. You'll get bursts of adrenaline and serotonin when you knock out a difficult achievement, won't you? And the extrinsic benefit of just money and like things and experiences that are not directly related to your work, but that you get the reward from work, and then you can go buy like a video game or whatever, awesome food or vacation, or brag to your friends. If you get benefit out of that, I think Elon does. I don't know him personally, right? Elon, give me a call. But I do think that that's a fourth thing, is that you can not burn out by kind of like circling back to what the second strategy, that if you find something you're passionate about, it's hard to burn out. Kind of like that, but the indirect cousin, where the work itself is not the thing you're passionate about, but the work gives you resources to do this other thing you're passionate about. And you effectively have an energetic loop that way through vacations or awesome food or great relationships or experiences or whatever you're doing with the income and benefits of programming. Did that make sense? I felt like it kind of made sense in my head. I feel like I could have delivered that much more successfully in another timeline. How long have you been a programmer? Just over 10 years. Just over 10 years. I hope y'all will follow the channel, like the video, visit latterly.io and sign up and join the Discord. I would love to chat with you more. This has been a fantastic conversation for me. And I'm going to wrap it there. Good to see y'all.